Hello, welcome back to On the Gas, episode 12. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We talked about Jorge Martin and Marc Marquez's little battle in MotoGP and how they actually gapped Bagnaia by 10 seconds, which is absolutely mental. The alien landing at Jerez at the weekend as well. That was an interesting one as well. Crazy. And everything in four new world champions crowned over in the Superbike Championship because it all went down to the final round. If you enjoyed listening, subscribe please on YouTube, give us a like over there, follow us on Spotify, give us that 5-star rating as well please, and just give us a nice rating wherever you're listening to as well. And I hope you enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of the On the Gas podcast. I hope you're well. Hope you had a great week. As always, I'm back, and I'm joined by Cameron and Lauren. As always, how you doing?
Hello.
Or should I say, g'day?
G'day, mate. I'm not doing that.
You did
not
it.
After last week.
Yeah, someone picked up on it.
Yeah, they're like,
people,
oh, you did good.
I heard people liked it, though.
Yeah.
People implies more than one. But...
Sorry, one person liked it.
Yeah, respect.
Yeah.
Respect to you.
Yes.
Everybody else who sends in photos of you watching and listening, appreciate it, as always. Cameron, obviously I'm joined by Cameron and Lauren, as always. Welcome back, Lauren.
Thanks for having me back.
We said something during last week's podcast. What are you laughing about now?
No, nothing. That was just a great interaction. I loved it. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, it's because I said Cameron and then was like, wait, I should probably introduce Lauren as well. Because I was going to go straight into a point. Anyway, last week, obviously, we talked about the fact that we were treated to a very good race in World Superbikes, very good racing in BSB, and we were like, we'll go back to MotoGP and it'll be quite boring. We were wrong.
Well, I mean, like, it's not the best Phillip Island race I've seen.
It wasn't, no, but in terms of like, a 7 or 8 rider brawl, it wasn't the most enthralling race ever. But it was more about the absolute hunt of Marquez coming from a burnout on the grid to 13th to 1st, and that hunt that we saw like with Marc and Quartararo back in the Mazzano, and it was the Marc of old, the Marquez remember in 2019, who is able to put that pressure on riders and really just pressure them into a mistake. And it wasn't, in terms of like action, it wasn't the most action-backed race, but in terms of anticipation about what's going to go on, because you knew Marquez at some point was going to make a move, that was where it was very interesting.
Yeah, like he certainly, Marc on both days, on the Saturday and the Sunday, gave us something to talk about and had decided to create an arc of his own within these races. And yeah, it's certainly been a talking point, especially this rogue tear-off.
That was nuts.
Caused the burnout and everything. Yeah, like, great. Content creators and everything such as yourself have been like, yes, amazing.
Yeah.
Great for clicks and engagement. And it was amazing to see that. But he dropped back to 13th by turn 1 on the Sunday, and by like turn 4 he was in 6th or something.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
like it's definitely been there was a lot to be said this weekend, again because of Marc, and I know we keep going on about it, but like the difference between Jorge and Pecco was like 10 seconds.
It was crazy.
Yeah, so Jorge was on it. Make no mistake, this was not an off weekend for his competition. And if it weren't for Marc, this would have been a boring weekend. It would have been like, oh my goodness. Like,
it always seems to be that case.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, yes, it was a good weekend, but for the grace of grace of Marc Marquez, I suppose. I'm sure there was other stuff going on. Obviously, big crashes are not what we want to sort of tout as the entertaining
No.
aspect, but I mean that was a hell of a crash between
That
Bez
was
and Vinales.
scary. That
Thank God
terrifying. I mean,
everyone's okay, but yeah,
Vinales ended up deactivating his Instagram because people were giving hate for the middle finger, which I kind of get. You shouldn't do the middle finger and stuff, but I think with all that adrenaline going through you, and especially being barrel rolled through the gravel at 140 miles an hour, you're going to be pretty up here and you're going to be pretty miffed off at the situation. But in the same way, if Bezzecchi is lying on the floor not moving, you should probably go over and see if he's all right and put that first rather than pinging a finger at him.
Do you think Maverick and Tommy Bridewell would get on?
Oh yeah, like a house on fire.
actually,
I jest. I feel like we just have to make light of that situation because
Yeah.
I do feel like what Maverick did in the gravel chop just wasn't really acceptable, especially when your competitor, yes, although he took you out due to no fault of his own when you rewatch the clips, obviously his adrenaline's going to be high. He feels like he's been taken out wrongly, so
He said that
etc.
Bezzecchi
I can
didn't break
understand.
as well.
Well, yeah, I can understand the frustrations, but like it's so clear to see when you watch the clip back that Bezzecchi just got sucked into it. Casey Stoner himself even commented, I think, on the official MotoGP page and was like, "This is why we need to get rid of Aero." So, of course, it's easy to say after the incident that he shouldn't have done it because I completely understand why his emotions were so high. But I just think like gestures and stuff like that in the gravel chop aren't really necessary. You should let yourself calm down a little bit and then
if they're up and walking
proceed.
about, and they're up walking
Go
about and
for
whatever,
it.
go
Yeah,
for it.
like-
Hell for leather,
Yeah.
that box. Uh-huh.
But if they lay on the floor, not maybe moving yet, then maybe withhold it a minute or two. And then take your helmet off and go for it. Why not?
Yeah.
McPhee and Alcoba style, shall we say?
Yeah.
It's just Spartan kick him. Why not?
But I mean,
Yeah.
they both knew that each other was okay. So, as
Yeah.
much as fights in the gravel chop also aren't things that we don't want to see, like at least they knew each other was okay before they started pushing and shoving each other. So I think Maverick just maybe should have
Jumped the gun.
Yeah.
Which is ironic given that he can't start a race, start his life, and here he is jumping the gun.
Well, yeah.
What was he? He started the
think-
race, second? And he's finished... eighth.
No, he wasn't
still,
second.
Third,
come
I
on.
think.
Oh, yeah, third.
was
Sorry, it was Mark
third.
second,
Yeah.
Apologies.
Disappointing again, to be honest, from both Aprilias, because I sort of noticed halfway through the race, where is Alicia Spargo? And then I looked down and he was like 17th.
Yeah,
He's retired already. He's clocked out.
Do you think, or do you think there's bigger issues there at Aprilia? Because I'm a
Probably
bit
both.
concerned.
Probably both, but I mean, if I were Alicia, I wouldn't be pushing. He's not going to be their test rider next year. I wouldn't be trying to make that bike fit into ways it shouldn't be, and like risking my health any more than I already am by being on the grid. Yeah, I don't know, but the Aprilia started strong, and obviously with in this season, and we thought, the Aprilia they've really brought something. They were all saying the 24 is a much stronger bike than the 23.
He qualified
Obviously,
19th
Maverick.
as well.
Did he?
Oh.
Brother. Yeah. I don't know. Don't know what's happened with Aprilia. They've lost their way. We thought KTM had a bit more mojo again last week, but it didn't really come to fruition at Phillip Island. I don't know what's going on. Ducati are just...
Well, yeah, because
on it.
Yamaha and Honda have sort of not taken a step back again, but it all just sort of feels a bit like stagnant again.
Yeah.
And everyone's just, a few meh performances, and it's so clear to see the level above that the front two this week, obviously, 8, 9, 10 seconds ahead of Pecco Bagnaia in third place. Like,
the
level...
Yeah.
The level this weekend was insane. And it's even more insane with the fact that Marquez was on a 23 and Martin's on the 24.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that they were so far ahead of the rest of the field, like, I actually can't wrap my head around it. But as far as Phillip Island races, it definitely won't go down in the history books as one of the most spectacular ones. I think for Marc Marquez's sake, that'll go down as one of his like really cool wins, 100%. But other than that, it was just a bit lackluster.
I can give you some interesting things that will go down in the history books, though.
Yes,
Firstly, Didier obviously finished 4th. Incredible, given the fact that he's missing the last 2 races due to injury. We'll touch on that in a bit because there are 2 riders earmarked for that one. And additionally to that, obviously, before I go into this, Cameron, you said 10 seconds earlier about them being 10 seconds ahead of Bagnaia, and I was like, I didn't know that, and I was like, 10 seconds? Surely not. I've just gone check, and yeah, Marquez finished 10 seconds against Bagnaia. Given that the 3 were battling at one point, for them to be 10 seconds ahead is nuts. I don't know.
Silly.
That is reminiscent of Rossi Stoner Laguna Seca vibe, or Pedro Costa Sergio Garcia at Austria.
Yeah.
But because the thing is, I will go into this history thing in a sec, but going on a tangent. The fact that I was very impressed actually by Martin, because Martin's kind of the guy who makes a mistake quite often, as we know. Both of them are putting down qualifying laps for most of that race with worn down tyres and tyres that were kind of, well, bikes that obviously had lower fuel and at temperatures. It was a dry track, and then most of the weekend they were running in mixed conditions. And the fact that Marquez has experience coming out his ears, that's fine. Martin, not so much. But the fact that Marc was able to push Martin that hard, and Martin was able to stick with him and do those lap times. He only finished the race a second behind Marc. Marc was on another planet for some reason. And the fact that he was able to push him that hard and Martin was able to stay on shows he has evolved in the last few races as a rider. And I'm hoping next week he doesn't make me eat my words here right now with a crash. But I feel like Marquez was able to extract something out of Martin this weekend that is invaluable as experience goes, because you don't get given those things, you have to learn them. And I think this weekend for Martin,
I agree with you fully, because Martin's posted on Instagram today pictures of him and Marc.
Yeah, I saw that.
From the race. And I'm going, you would never do that before if it was an intense battle between you and Pecco. Like, yeah, you show the respect to each other, but the fact that he's gone ahead and made an Instagram post about
him and Marc,
the 2 of them and the race, it's like...
shows a lot.
Yeah, not only the respect, but I think I agree with the learning thing. Like, he has learned a lot in that race yesterday. Yeah, he got beat and he had to settle for second place. I think there was a point where you could actually see in his racing that he was sort of like, there's no need for me to push here. He probably had the timings on his pit board and he could see, look, there's no point in me even attempting to overtake Marc here when Pecco's 9-10 seconds behind. So yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm a bit worried in saying that I feel like this could be the swing of the championship, the final swing of the championship, because that's obviously a very bold statement and we still have 3 rounds to go. So I don't know, but there was something different about Martin this weekend.
Well, Marc was going that fast that he broke an 11-year-old lap record.
Yeah.
Because he held that record of the best race lap since 2013, when it was brand new, resurfaced, and obviously his rookie
and he was a rookie.
Yeah, and they resurfaced it again recently, and then Marc has gone and done that. That's how fast he was going. His time that he set was within 4 tenths, maybe even 5 tenths, of Martin's all-time lap record for qualifying as well. That shows how fast they were going, and Martin was able to stick with him and be in front of Marc for a lot of that, because Marc broke the record with Martin ahead of him. So that shows Martin's been pushed to another level and maybe unlocked something in his brain now that goes, okay, I'm a better rider now. I think... carry on. Sorry.
No, so I was just like, to go back kind of on that point of Martin's attitude, I think there's possibly a slight ego thing with it as well. Because I think, now that Marc's kind of come back and proven that, okay, it was the bike that was holding Marc back. he's clearly like still got it. I think Martin feels like there's absolutely no shame in being beat by Marc Marquez.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But because Martin and Pecco joined the field at like the same time or within a couple of years of each other.
Similar, yeah.
They're kind of the
like
same
within
era
a year.
of rider. Yeah, there's like the same era of rider. Whereas Mark's this like old goat that still has it sort of thing, and it has nothing else to prove. Whereas I think there's still this battle of ego between Pecco and Martin, where they kind of want to assert their dominance on this era of riders, whereas like Mark's clearly, well, just because of his age, is coming to the end of his career, might still get another couple of titles, but he's not going to be, or might not be, the one that's remembered for the 2020s. You know, like we had Rossi remembered for the 2000s, then Marquez was the 2010s rider. I think Pecco and Martin want to be the one that's remembered for the 2020s. And there's a bit of that ego in there as well. So yeah, like that. And obviously having someone like Marquez on side, if it comes to it, not that these things do happen, but like just subtly, if you want to have, like, I'd rather have him in my corner than against me. Do you know what I mean?
100%. But the thing is, because he's got nothing to fight for, Mark will still make a go at you. Even if you're in his corner, he's still going to go for
exactly.
it.
Yeah,
but Mark even joked with Pecco after the race and was like, "You're welcome."
True.
Yeah,
gave you 5 points there. Gave you 5 points back. Now what the gap was 20 points, and it could have been 25 if Martin had won. So
fuck, that's so backhanded, though, isn't it?
Oh, I think so.
Just wait till next year.
Yeah.
Like they do get on, but the fact that he acknowledged that and like said it in that jokey tone, and maybe I'm just reading way too far into it, but I do think that maybe the mind games have started already for next year, you know?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yep.
Well, Mark going and doing that and then destroying Pecco by 10 seconds on an inferior bike, on last year's bike, just in itself will be...
but while Martin's able to hang on, that's the bit that Cameron is saying that makes so much sense of like that for Martin to be able to hold on and yet still lose, but to be within a second of Marc Marquez 10 seconds ahead of Pecco Bagnaia.
Whilst he's on lap record pace.
That is incredible, and the confidence boost that's going to give you, it's going to feel like a win, even though it wasn't. And that's why I say with the swinging of the championship, that is huge for the championship. Yeah, it might not have been the biggest points haul or whatever, but the mentality to that is going to be crazy.
Yeah, and I think after this race and from this conversation, I think now, obviously unbiased, but I believe, like, I'm not rooting for any of them to win the championship, but I truly think now it is Martin. I think Martin will now win this championship from today alone, because Pecco already had that experience when he battled with Mark at Aragon and won his first race. And he's beaten and battled with Mark before, but he's not beaten a battle Mark before on, well, at lap record pace like Martin did. And Pecco will have a confidence already. Martin has a confidence, but maybe not as much. This will put Martin in a new mental stratosphere. And as many people will say, a happy rider, a confident rider is a fast rider, because all Kyle Ryde was saying this on the podcast the other week, comes down to confidence and confidence only. You could have the best bike, the best package, perfectly set up to you, but if you don't have that confidence to ride it to its limit, you're going to be nowhere. If Martin has come out this weekend with that confidence, that he's all the way champion.
But do you not think on the other side of it though, Pecco's definitely been off in the last couple of weeks. He's been unhappy with results. He's been blaming the bikes for things. Like there's been a few times that I even remember us mentioning on the podcast being like, you know, he needs to just own up if he's not feeling 100%. Like you can't always blame the bike for the issues sort of thing. And it maybe feels like he's trying to fob off excuses. But I think this weekend is maybe a prime example of Martin is confident. He's got this confidence about him, especially from this weekend. Like he was so dominant. And then you've got Pecco, who only managed to qualify 5th. he was looking a bit agitated in qualifying because they couldn't get his tyre warmers off, and he looked really stressed about what was going on when he still had enough time to go and set fast laps. But you could tell that there was pressure inside the garage. And then to finish 10 seconds back of the leaders, still to get third, he salvaged good points. And I think all things considered, it still was a good weekend, but I think he'll find it hard to bounce back from that.
Yeah, he will. And I think it comes down to as well to that thing of the riders and the champions we've seen in the past. It goes way back to the point I think I've mentioned before about Pecco being an exceptional rider. You're a 3-time world champion. You don't get those from a cereal box. But Pecco is not the rider at the top of the list when it comes down to raw talent. And obviously being on the best package on the grid definitely will help Pecco, not taking anything away from how good of a rider he is. But the best champions in history, you look at your Rossi in 2004, your Stoner on the Ducati, Marquez for years on that Honda, and even Jorge Lorenzo to a degree as well, when Rossi kind of broke his leg and suddenly Lorenzo was the guy leading all the development. And in his second year in MotoGP, all able to ride around issues on the bike and go, there's an issue there, so I'm going to adapt my way of riding to then extract everything I can from the bike to then win races. Marc Marquez is on last year's bike. It's a vastly inferior bike to the GP24. I think Digi is next in the championship and he's miles behind where Marc is in championship. And yet Marc is still winning 3 races, still setting lap records because, again, those issues he can ride around. But it feels for me from the outside looking in, Pecco is unable to ride around those conditions and those issues and imperfections on the bike and the tyre. The amount of times he's complained about a bad tyre during a race and going, my race was compromised because of a bad tyre. Whereas other riders, I think, would have been able to maybe just get on with it. And, like you've mentioned about Pecco the last few races, struggling a little bit and not being 100% and complaining about this, complaining about that. I feel like a rider of higher caliber, like your aliens, could ride around those issues and still be on top. Case in point, Marc Marquez on Sunday on last year's bike.
Yeah, I agree. Although I do think that out of the two of them, I'm really not mad about whoever wins it. I think whoever does take the crown this year will fully deserve it. I want to make that very clear too. I would say that I'm pointing in the direction of Jorge Martin, and I've said that now for quite some time on the podcast, that I do think that he has what it takes this year. But if Pecco Bagnaia is able to come back and snatch it away from him, because
he's very
Martin
good at.
Martin definitely has a hand on it as it stands at the minute. But I think Pecco still has what it takes to win the championship. But can he get himself in that right mindset and ride around these problems that he says that he has at the minute? That's another story. So I think it will be exciting in the last couple of rounds. Both of them are convinced it's going to go down to Valencia, which I hope so. I think that'll keep it really exciting. Moto 2 could be wrapped up next week. Moto 3 is already wrapped up. So I want to see a championship go down to the wire. Who wins it? I'm not sure, but they both deserve it.
Well, it's like Pecco said coming into this weekend. He was like, I can't remember his exact wording, but he said it really depends how the next 2 races go. That'll kind of decide it. Well, that's half his opportunity gone to stake that claim. He was beat this weekend. Going by his own words, if he gets beat this coming weekend, then he's really on the back foot because he's already convinced himself of this. The Phillip Island is Thailand next, right?
Yeah. Which is a Martin and Marquez track, man.
It is, yeah. So he's maybe shot himself in the foot with those words because they will have come from a place of belief somewhere. So if he comes out of those 2 weekends without a win or a pole or something, like some kind of something to grab onto to be like, I can still do this, then it's gonna be tough. It'll be an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah,
like we say, he does love that.
Yeah, but he needs points. All he really needs is points, and at the minute, well, after this weekend, obviously he's lost points to Martin, and it's gone back up to 20 points. But if he can leave Thailand, even taking a handful of points out of that, then that could be what he needs to make that step. He just needs something. And like you said, whether it's the pole position or the sprint win, or he manages even just to finish ahead of Martin, it doesn't even have to be winning the race. He just needs to claw back a few points, because he's still got 2 rounds after Thailand to make a bigger step, and there's still chance for Martin to make a mistake.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just needs to flip the negative into the positive and think about, even if it's 2 points he can get out of Martin, that's a step in the right direction, and you still have 2 races to make it work.
100%.
Good point. Yep.
So, moving on slightly. I mentioned earlier about it being a history book race, and then we've got into lots of other things. So, off bikes. Off bikes is, well, he used to take photos in the paddock, and now he's more of the Dorna stats guy, the official MotoGP statistician. Can't say that word. And every week before and after the race, you get an email through from MotoGP Press from the stats of the weekend. One of them was very interesting. So Neil Morrison also tweeted it, so I'll just read Neil Morrison's tweet to make it easier. He said, nice stat courtesy of Off Bikes. Yesterday's all Ducati top 6 was its first in MotoGP history. We've had a lot of top 5s, but not a top 6. And the first time any manufacturers achieved this in the Premier class since Honda at the 97 French GP at Paul Ricard. And the gaps between the top 6 were mental. So this is top 6, right? Doohan first. Doohan, by the way, was just famous for just running off into the distance. He won some races by 30 seconds. Mental. So first, Mick Doohan, then 4.2 seconds back, Carlos Checa, then 5.2 from Doohan, Okada, Crivier 4th, 6.1, then 5th place with Aoki on the Repsol Honda as well was 24 seconds, and Barros in 6th was 41 seconds back in the top 6.
6 covered by 40 seconds.
Yeah, and now
this is no, sorry, go on. I'm going to end up going on a tangent. No,
but then this year it was 15 seconds, but that includes the 10-second gap to 3rd.
Wow. And we say MotoGP's boring now. No offense to Mick Doohan, but
that would have just been like watching
my
paint
point.
dry.
Quite glad I was born in 99. Like, I know we talk about the old days and we reminisce, but I actually don't think I could have sat there and watched that every week.
No. And that was the point I was about to make. Everyone they've got rose tinted glasses about how good the racing used to be, when
those 500
it's just a handful
great.
of races. Yeah, it's just a handful of races that make you think that. But actually, it wasn't that long ago. I've said this a few times, that people were getting lapped on the regular. It was just part of the racing, where it doesn't happen anymore without a special outlying circumstance.
Yeah,
I mean, Doohan was criticised a lot. Sorry to cut you offline. Doohan was criticised a lot for making the racing boring. I think after the years of Rainey and Schwantz and stuff like that, where they were scrapping it out and all that, then Doohan came along and just made it very boring, apparently. And it was only when, MotoGP was in decline because of it. It was only then when Rossi stepped into the class in 1999. Or maybe it's 2000. Can't remember.
2000.
I always get it mixed up.
2000.
Yeah, 2000. That's right. It's 99. 250 jump. Yeah, stepped in 2000, which was really when it kind of went back on the track. But it was. Yeah, we've got it good. Like, I know we got it. We had it insanely good in the era of the aliens, but we still got it pretty good, I think.
We do.
Yeah.
People just love to moan and reminisce. Yeah. It's just the human condition.
It's true. Nostalgia and all that.
Well, all I was going to say is that my dad, who did watch the racing in the era of Mick Doohan, always says about how boring it was.
Yeah.
And he says, like, what a fantastic champion he was.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, he just won everything, and it made it very difficult to watch and be a fan of the sport.
Can you imagine watching Marquez clear off by 30 seconds most weekends?
But I suppose it's a bit more like F1 style, where there's like big gaps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
It's nuts. Yeah. You mentioned Mick Doohan. I'd love to see, because obviously we're in an era now where the riders coming up through the ranks are a lot younger than even us, and therefore have grown up watching the riders that we also grew up watching, but in a way of like, because we grew up with Rossi as the main guy, is what I'm trying to say. Rossi was the man.
Okay.
And then you go into the Red Bull rookies, and for them it's Marquez as the man because they didn't know Rossi. And then it's nice to see that, say, Senna Aegis, for example, Stoner was the guy that he kind of, as a kid, would have idolized instead of it being Rossi, because again, he wasn't born in that era. And it's crazy to me now to see him, Senna Aegis, use that Stoner replica at the weekend. Because of that, I really liked that. But it just made me feel really old. Like, wow, you're using a Stoner replica. Jeez,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there's the Red Bull Rookies video that I've seen circulating on social media there recently when they're all being asked who their idols are, and it's Marc Marquez. Fabio Quartararo was mentioned actually quite heavily, which was like crazy to me. A few Valentinos, few Marc Marquez's, like I said, but yeah. I think the replicas this week were really, really good.
Rule Stones was killer.
Yeah, I think the Casey Stoner one was probably up there with some of my favorites. Some of just the special helmets and boots and all this weekend were good though, because Pedro Acosta just went full.
That was brilliant. I'm so
Australian mode.
But...
Yeah.
Did you see the promo video?
Yeah, it was
great. Where it was a trainee. It was
so
hilarious.
So good.
So good.
He
but
has
like they were
got
good.
a hell of a sense of humor.
Oh, absolutely. He's fabulous. But then also David Alonso after the race.
Yeah.
I'm going to go straight into it. But he won. So now he has got the same amount of wins in a season as Valentino Rossi. So he's won 11 races this year. And he did this celebration, which I have never seen before until this weekend. And he had all the bandages around his head and all.
Yeah.
Like, that is so funny. Yeah.
And
I think that's hilarious.
As well. Because it's
funny,
we
need more of it.
It's a nod, isn't it? It's a nod to Rossi and going, I've matched you. I'm not trying to sound better than you. So I'm doing the same thing as you, as like a respect, if that makes sense. But yeah, and Jack Miller's gear was really nice, the helmet as well.
It was.
But yeah, Pedro's was my favorite, I think. But Senna Aegis's lid was absolutely gorgeous, because it wasn't like I don't think it was an exact replica. There was still like a few changes on it. But yeah, absolutely love that one. And then to see that one, spoiler, on the podium in Moto2 as well was just like incredible as well.
What a weekend. Yep.
He had a stunner of a weekend, because it's funny. I have caught up in Moto2 now, right? But because obviously it's late at night. And so I watched Moto3 and I had alarms set for each race, right? And I'd catch a quick nap before and then get back up again. And my alarm didn't go off for some reason. I woke up and I was like, check time, and I was like, 3:45. What? And so I opened up 7 laps to go. I was like, oh crap! But yeah, I did get to watch Senna win the race and then crash after he was carrying the flag.
I didn't see that. No
way. That was good.
Stacked it on the grass.
Classic.
But yeah,
amazing.
But yeah, that was just stunning. Like we said earlier about the fact that maybe there wasn't as much love for Senna, I think, around the track. Maybe because he's a rookie as well. People aren't going to know too much about him. He spent a lot of years in Europe. He goes back to Australia quite a lot because he'll race the Honda CBR in the WorldSBK series alongside Harrison Voigt, who was obviously racing as well. But Senna actually came through the Sich 58 squad in the European Talent Cup, and then in the Junior Moto3 World Championship. He was racing for that Marco Simoncelli team. And then split, went to promo racing in Moto2, and then came kind of up that way and then into Grand Prix. So kind of a similar Fermin Aldeguer route kind of thing. But yeah, so because of that, because he spent a lot of time in Europe, people may not know him too well. And then he was in the Asia Talent Cup years ago as well. There's a great photo actually posted today from the Asia Talent Cup of him. So because of that, for the third time, people aren't going to really know him too well. He's not come through Australian racing and then hopped over. And so I hope now with that podium, people are going to go, we need to get behind this lad. We need to get behind him now, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, he was the best performing Aussie of the weekend, so that'll definitely help. The Casey Stoner replica will also help. But yeah, I think when you think Australians on the grid, you automatically go to your Jack Miller, your Joel Kelso. Now we've got Jacob Rollstone too.
He's killing it as well.
Yeah, so up and coming names. Yeah, I think because of the sort of way that Senna has come into the championship, he's sort of gone under the radar massively.
Yeah.
And people, don't realise that he's Australian, but that was a mega weekend for him. And yeah, I think next year will be a very different story for him in Australia.
I hope so.
I think he'll have a big fan club.
Yeah, because he's got the talent to go all the way. Genuinely, I think he's only like 18, 19 still. Super talented rider. Genuinely, he was okay on the Moto3 and stuff, and as soon as he hopped on the Moto2, like a duck to water, absolutely flying on it, and yeah, buzzing for him to be on the podium. Aaron Canet getting his 19th second place finish now. And Fermin Aldeguer very happy because he's finally won from pole at Australia, which made him very happy as well.
Yeah, I mean, not for lack of trying for Aaron Canet. Like, he really threw the kitchen sink at
that
the
MG
win.
corner overtake. Whoa.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Fermin Aldeguer threw the kitchen sink and the entire kitchen.
And the bathroom as
well. Aaron, the bathroom. The house, to be honest, just threw it all at Aaron Canet. The move was something.
I read a thing earlier to just interject, but back up your point. The move, if Canet wasn't there, Fermin would have run off the track, and he basically used Canet as a berm.
Yeah.
It's the official quote.
Yeah.
No, I did see something on Twitter. I think it was from Simon Patterson, something along the lines of that Aaron Canet wasn't that mad with Fermin Aldeguer, but he was more mad with the stewards, because apparently he got told at the start of the year that if there was contact like that on the last lap, that there would be penalties handed out. Don't know how true that is, but I would need to find that on Twitter again and see if I could.
The MotoGP stewards been inconsistent. What? No way.
You know, I think it's fair, because I think Canet probably, like, he's quite bold in some of the moves that he makes. So I think honestly he was like, do you know what? I probably would have done the same thing. And he didn't take him off. They didn't run off the track, although they were close to it. But I think that's pretty much as hard as you can go to make an overtake without completely effing up your race, the other rider's race, or completely just taking the two of you out. So fair play to Fermin for doing it, because I mean, we just haven't seen him at his best at all this season. So nice to see him back up at the front. But anything more than that, I probably would have different opinions on it.
Yeah.
But
feel the same.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find that tweet that I was talking about before I sound like I've just made that up out of nowhere.
Yeah, and shame for Dixon's kind of crashed out first lap as well. I think I had him for the win, actually. He kind of blamed Foggia, I believe, initially, but then it was Sasaki's fault for tagging Foggia in the first place, I think.
I thought Dixon was on the inside.
I can't remember it, to be honest.
I think Sasaki nudged Dixon, and then Dixon took out.
Sasaki nudged somebody, and it caused the crash. But yeah, and Ogura was able to take the title heading into the race, but did not accumulate enough points to do so. But has added, I think it's 6 or 7 to his tally, and it's very likely that he'll win the championship now in Thailand. The QJ Motor, well, not QJ Motorbikes anymore, just the Grassini bikes.
Grassini
looked very interesting without any sponsors this weekend. I think, my opinion, quickly, I don't want to go into it too much because it's like, I don't know, it's just spent too much on social media. I believe that Grassini and QJ will remain partners next year. They just don't want to advertise on the bike whilst Manu's still riding it for the last 4 rounds of the season. Because the press release itself even said they are having very good conversations. So I think when Darren Binder replaces Manu, the logos will go back on the bike.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's diplomacy.
That's up to them. I just don't think I'm the person to comment on that.
No, I don't think any of us are, to be honest.
Yeah.
No.
I did find the tweet about Aaron Canet and Fermin. It was that no ill feeling between Aaron Canet and Fermin Aldeguer. Canet says that rubbing is racing, and the only people that he is pissed off at are the stewards because they told him at the start of the season that you'd lose a place for touching another rider on the last lap.
Yeah.
So he's fully in favour of riding like this and is defending what Fermin did, but isn't happy with the stewards. So that was on Simon Patterson's Twitter there, if anyone else wants to go and have a read at that.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yep. Heading into Moto3 before we touch on another championship. David Alonso, like we said, exceptional race weekend. His new boots look really nice as well. Don't know if you saw them.
Yeah, I did. They were good.
They're epic. He's got, Alpecin have done some special ones, and they're the CF Moto Blue with an 80 on one and a 1 on the other. And they look really, really cool. I really like them. Nice little touch. Nice. I think like when Guevara won the championship and the gold shoulder protection from Dainese, they look great. I really liked that. But Nepa, for me, was a standout rider. I think that race. He still never had a podium, shockingly enough. But it was like had a long lap penalty and still made it back into podium contention and was only 0.2 from the podium itself, behind Adrian Fernandez, who out of nowhere has had 3 podiums in a row now.
That's good going. Yeah,
he's been really fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Like we talk about the confidence boost, etc., in Jorge Martin, but I think Adrian Fernandez is the prime example of this. Like he finally got that first podium, and he has been incredible ever since. Like his racecraft is just something that we've never seen from him before. Like I don't know where he's got it from, but it just shows how much that confidence can change everything, and he's really backing himself, and he looks absolutely fantastic at the minute. Like I'd be worried for next year.
Yeah, I would.
If I was the competition.
Yeah, I would be. He's in Leopard as well, 3rd year maybe next year with them, so it's all working. Quickly as well, did you see that his brother Raul rode without wings as well?
Yes, did see that.
Oh, it looks so much better without wings too.
It looks
what a unique opinion. No way.
What crazy.
No one's ever said that before.
What? No. Oh, it looks like a bike again.
Oh, we should get rid of Aero? What?
Well, crazy.
Listen, save your hot takes for a podcast. Goodness me.
Wait. Yeah. But I was very sad for Kelso, to be honest, because he was leading the race at one point and then was like 11th by the end of it. It's got that Jack Miller curse, I think, where you kind of good at the start and then fall off by the end of it.
Yeah, what is that?
So I was sad for him. But most person I was saddest for, I think, a little bit biased, Scott Ogden, who I think started 5th. He crashed.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
but we didn't get to see it though, is the problem.
No,
so I couldn't tell you anything about it. But to have that sort of quality pace, something that he's really been trying to do all season, and we know he can do because he's done it in the past. So to finally get up there at the front and then have that sort of mistake, don't know what happened. I'm assuming just lapse in judgment. Don't think any other riders were involved, sort of thing. But yeah, really disappointing, to be honest. But I just hope he can get something together for next season.
Well, the words that are just about to come out of my mouth is I can exclusively tell you, I won't tell you which team, he has put pen to paper for a contract for next year at the weekend.
That's good.
He has signed. I'll tell you after the podcast.
I was gonna say, if it's the team that we've been talking about, I'm happy enough. That's good. Yeah.
So that'll be good. I did hear some other news as well. I think I said ages ago that Intact GP had hired or signed, shall we say, Cruces. No, it's not Cruces. It's Carpe. Sorry, I was getting confused. Had hired Carpe for next year with Maximo Quiles going to Io. Red Bull have stepped in and blocked the move because Cruzes is a rookies champion, therefore should go into a Red Bull sponsored team as a Red Bull athlete next year. So I believe, even though photos have been taken of Cruzes with Intact, Cruzes will actually get moved to IO instead of Intact. It's Carpe, it's not Cruzes.
I was going to say, you literally just said Carpe and then continued to say...
Carpe, Red Bull Rookies champion, Carpe, not Cruzes. Don't know what Cruzes is doing next year. But yeah, Carpe has been moved from Intact to IO, I believe, for next year as well. So that's Red Bull stepping in and changing things. I think maybe kilos will then just slot into Intact without Red Bull sponsorship is the key takeaway from that one. But yes, that's more information because for some reason, still so many people haven't been announced for next year. Like, where on earth is the Guevara Arbolino announcement that we've known about for months now at this point?
Yeah.
So many other riders just have not been announced. Like, we're waiting on a few riders because of dispensations for next year and things like that. But, like, why has Taifo Sato not been confirmed yet? Because he was meant to go to Intact and then wasn't.
MLAV haven't confirmed their other seat. We know Eddie O'Shea is going to be there.
It might be like Perez. Now that... I'm going to shut up. Anyway, moving on. I don't want to allow people to read between the lines of where Scott Ogden's riding next year. But yeah, so very interesting. Anyway, yeah, David Alonso wins again. Absolutely outstanding season.
Makes it look easy.
He's
Shouldn't
a future
be winning
alien,
by 3
I think.
seconds.
Look, he's incredible. Like, the battles that were happening in that Moto3 race, that was a classic Phillip Island Moto3 race until Alonso just went, do you know what?
I've had enough of this. Yeah. Nah, no thanks. Yeah.
I'll just go win this and then it'll be over, sort of thing. So yeah.
You guys do your thing. Yeah.
It was really good. And like Kelso and Munoz and Fernandez, like, it was really good to see all those different riders up at the front and battling hard. But I think we all sort of knew that Alonso would just go, do you know what? I'm just gonna
bye.
I'm just gonna take this one.
Yeah.
So convincing by the end of it, but it was a good race. It was
essentially a future alien.
If it keeps going like this, I
don't know if we can say like a future alien. I feel like the next generation of stars, like, I feel like they're going to be different.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see too many aliens.
Yeah, like, I know Pecco said something a couple weeks ago to allude to the fact that the top 4 in the championship are sort of a head and shoulders above the rest of the competition, which is pretty fair, but like, he himself didn't use the word alien. I think it's pretty clear that Pecco and Martin, what they're doing at the minute is not alien like standards, I don't think. So I don't know, maybe when we see the likes of Pedro being like the main riders, and Alonso and maybe your Fermin Aldeguers, etc., when they get a couple of years in, I still don't think we'll be referring to them as aliens. I think there's a new generation now, and we're seeing it obviously with the likes of Pecco and Martin, etc. But I'm interested because I think it could be something, I don't know. I'm excited for it.
I see what you mean. Yeah, 100%, me too. Well, speaking of aliens, did you see that UFO landing at Jerez the weekend?
No. Oh, I literally was like, what are you talking about?
Bro.
What?
There's literally an alien.
What?
Turning into a Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh my god. Yeah, there was a UFO that landed at Jerez, and out came a gold-suited Toprak Razgatlioglu after securing his second World Superbike title with the alien mask to boot as well. Second championship on the BMW. We talk about riders earlier on riding around problems and, you know, being ahead of the field in terms of that. Toprak is a very, very good example of that because BMW, let's be real, were pretty much nowhere. And then Toprak hopped on the bike and just dismantled everybody. The only one that could really give him a good fight was a rookie, of all people, who's actually now outscored Michael Rinaldi's record already in World Superbike for wins and podiums.
Oh, well, there you go.
Which is
that's why they replaced him. Yeah.
So Rinaldi did 221 starts for Ducati.
Wow.
I mean, to be honest, given the form of Bulega in the last few rounds, I would almost say he's more of a favourite for next year.
He was outstanding.
Over Toprak.
Yeah. New Ducati though. New V4 next year.
Well, that's almost scarier,
anything,
to be honest, because
Ducati
don't miss, it seems. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like, yeah, almost that new Ducati will almost seal the deal, because there won't be, it's a kind of unknown quantity, so it'll come in maybe just slightly OP.
Yeah, that's true. And then I'll have to nerf it a little
bit. Yeah, like, so it'll just be, I mean, Toprak will give it a good go, and I'm sure he will win plenty of races. But I think, like, I don't know, now that Bulega's got a year under his belt and has clearly shown some like mental form, yeah, I think he's got to be a bookie's favorite.
Yeah,
I think so.
I'd say so. I think the wild thing to me is the fact that this is only Toprak's second world championship.
Yeah, he is deserved. No one deserves the championship because you have to earn it. But actually, that's arguable when you come back to look back at Loris Capirossi back in the 90s, taking riders out to give riders championships. But most of the time, championships are earned and not handed to you. And Toprak, unfortunately, was on inferior machinery on that Yamaha.
A weird side note.
No, I said about the fact that championships are always earned, and sometimes they're not earned and just given to you. But
there's always an exception.
Yes, there are. Yeah, and so Toprak on that inferior Yamaha, which has clearly been shown to be inferior this year, with Locatelli being the best Yamaha this year in 7th. Remy Gardner in 10th with the second best. Where is Ray? I'm actually scrolling down. 13th. Mental. That's the first time, I believe, in Ray's entire career he's finished out of the top 10 in the WorldSBK standings.
That's sad.
Yeah,
considering
that is very sad.
The season that Alex has had as well. You have to think.
Yeah.
Ray's got to be wishing
he stayed.
He did still beat Bassani in the championship at least, but yeah, I think he would have. But yeah, Toprak I think should be in 3, 4, 5-time champion, and I think genuinely he should stay in Superbikes. I think I'd prefer him to stay in Superbike just because I want him to see him demolish everybody.
I think he could do this same amount of championships as Johnny, if not more. But I don't know. Toprak and Johnny are good mates, and it's sort of that one that I'm like, I think Toprak, if BMW get their shit together and do this MotoGP project correctly, why would you not want Toprak to be your rider? Like, and why would Toprak not want to do that? I said this ages ago. I can't remember when we spoke about it.
Yeah, I remember.
But like, if BMW are gonna go into MotoGP, they need to have Toprak. And now they've already done the thing that Toprak wanted to do, which was win the World Superbike Championship. Like, that's what he set out to do on that BMW. And the fact that they've already done that in their first year together.
Yeah.
Like, the sky is the limit. There's no reason why he can't win it next year, possibly even the year after that. And then you've got 2027. So he could be a 4-time World Superbike champion before there's a MotoGP project being set up. And he could be the face of it. Exactly. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I think it would be crazy that if they do actually go about this MotoGP thing, I think Toprak would literally be crazy if he didn't jump on that opportunity because his talent is unmatched. Like, I do think he is probably the most talented rider, like natural talent in the world right now. He has to be. There's 100%. No one else doing it like Toprak at the minute.
No,
so I think
I agree.
He could definitely go in to MotoGP with like 3 or 4 championships. And even if he doesn't, and then decides to go down the route of taking all the Superbike championships and maybe trying to beat Johnny's record, I think he will go down as like one of the greatest, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so
But I
too.
think that move to MotoGP, if he could make that work, I think a lot more people would take recognition of his talent.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't think people respect his talent enough at the minute. And
No,
respect
I
what
agree.
he's done enough.
Mm.
So yeah. But on the other hand, Bootlegger was absolutely incredible. And when you look at where he was years ago, the fact that he's been kicked out of the VR46 Academy, etc., and has managed to build his way back up to where he is now. Yeah, if I was Toprak, I'd be worried for next season. If
Me
I was
too.
Batista, I'd be even more worried for next season. Like, that's your teammate. Yeah, you've had issues this year, but now you've got that to deal with on top of a bike that you didn't particularly enjoy riding this year. Yeah. Bootleg is one to watch.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of Bulega, very quickly, he and Iannone have been linked to replace Digia for the last 2 rounds of the season in MotoGP. I believe it'll go to Iannone because in media debriefs, Bulega kind of batted away the idea and even said on live TV that he would like to ride MotoGP and go to MotoGP, but he'd want to test the bike first. So I believe Iannone will ride the last 2 rounds of the season, or Pirro, which would make sense as well. So we'll have to see.
Why? Why Iannone?
Fun, isn't
it? No offense to the guy, but like, there's,
Pirro
I
would
don't
make
see
sense,
the point.
But yeah, I think maybe a reward for winning.
Bulega.
Or yeah, I'd love to see Bulega do it, especially because he's a
Get
back
bloody
Moto 2.
Get another Ducati rider. Get Glenn Irwin in.
Yes, there we go.
That's not biased, obviously.
Ducati rider who came into my mind there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like Ian only left the sport for a reason, or was sort
Yeah.
of shunned out of the sport for a reason. I don't know. Why should he get a chance to ride a MotoGP bike again? You know what I mean?
I
He
get your
signed his
point.
contract for next year. I don't see the point in seeing him back in the MotoGP paddock. Like, if he is, it'll be interesting to see if he can do anything on that bike. But I think based on the season, that Bootlegger would deserve it more. But understandably,
for sure.
if Bootlegger doesn't want the opportunity, then I understand that then they're going down the order of who to pick next. So I understand why Iannone is in the mix.
Yeah.
Batista?
Right. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Right, heading on to Supersport. Adrian Huertas was confirmed as the champion. He will ride for the Italtrans Moto2 team next year, leaving the Aruba squad behind, who are now changing to the Go Faster team with Ertl for next year. Interesting name. I think because Aruba wanted a young rider on the bike next year, they picked Ertl, so they've withdrawn sponsorship and just stuck it on the factory team in the Superbike instead. Huertas is actually the youngest ever Supersport champion at 21 years old, which is very impressive as well. Great time to switch to Moto2 as a double world champion, winning a 300 and a 600 title, doing the Manu Gonzalez route. I think he'll do quite well in Moto2 now they're on Pirelli as well. Interesting prospect. And yeah, he beat a lot of top riders like Stefano Manzi, Montella, Schrotter, Navarro, Caricasulo, Mahias, riders of bags of experience, and he's come in and just beaten them all in his first year on Ducati. Before this year, he never even had a podium in the championship. He's leaving it with another world title, multiple wins to his name.
Yeah, I like Huertas. I think Moto2 is a great step for him. And he's one of those names that it wouldn't surprise me to see him in MotoGP if he can make it work in years to come.
He's part of the same crop as Guevara, Costa, and all that. He raced against them growing up and all that. His career just took a different turn to them. He's part of the same crop. So, yeah, I would agree.
He's got good personality too. Like, I seen him, he did the Two Wheels for Life charity thing at Donington Park, and he was a great support at that, up on stage singing with Beatrice Neela. Like, absolutely fantastic, and like really got involved with the crowd over the whole weekend too. So that's the sort of things that you want to see that maybe go slightly unnoticed. So yeah, he's good personality.
Yeah. And then stepping into the 300 class, Aldi Satya Mahendra won the championship. he came as a champ in the last race with 22-point lead, so it's hard to lose at that point. First ever Indonesian to win a world championship in Grand Prix and additional championships like Superbike. Indonesia obviously went mental because why wouldn't they? And they absolutely love it, and he's one of theirs.
They do.
He's related to Galanghendra as well. I believe they're brothers, so that's quite a cool little thing. But yeah, very happy for him as well. You know, he's a rookie as well. Did it in his first year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he came through the Yamaha R3 Blue Crew series, Battlefield Championship there. And yeah, got a place in the full-time series thanks to Yamaha. And he's given them a title in the first year. So
not bad.
Very impressive. He's only 18.
The system works.
Yes, clearly. And then finally, it was, of course, last but not least, Ana Carrasco taking her second world title in World WCR. But my God, it was a race. Last race. What?
I caught bits of it.
I couldn't believe it. Like, there were many points where Maria Herrera was winning the championship by 1 point. Even at the penultimate corner, she was champ.
Yeah.
And then,
I think this championship has been absolutely fantastic.
Exceeded my expectations by a mile.
Absolutely. And that last race just showed, I think, the talent that was in the class. Like, we've seen sort of, 3, 4, 5 riders battling every so often. We sort of knew it was going to be between Maria and Anna, but in that last race, there was sort of 6 or 7 girls.
Yeah, and
they
Sanchez is like up there now.
Yeah, and any single one of them could have won that race. Maria clearly had a strategy. She knew what she needed to do, and she was executing it perfectly.
Yeah,
until the last corner of the last lap.
It was her fault as well.
Absolutely.
She came to part of Fermi and had to go at Sanchez. It's like, it's your fault, Maria. What are you doing?
Yeah, understandably, she lost out, and I think it's probably hard to accept that you were in the wrong in that sort of situation. Although watching the incident back a couple times, it is clear to see that Maria had just made the wrong choice, and she knew that if she finished in second, that she wasn't going to be world champion. So I understand exactly.
Do or die. Yep.
Yeah, she had to throw everything at it.
And I respect that.
Anna at some stages I thought literally just didn't have anything left, and I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on here?
Give it away at the last point, like.
Yeah, well, she managed to get third somehow. I think it was helped with Maria crashing out.
It was.
But like, what a deserving champion. She has showed this year that consistency is key. She hasn't
on the podium
won all the races yet, but that's the thing. Consistent. She's always on the podium, whereas Maria has made a couple of mistakes, and that's the difference. A few 4th, 5th place finishes, and then a crash in the last race, whereas Anna has just slowly but surely dominated. And
points make prizes.
Exactly. Yep. Absolutely fantastic. I'm so chuffed for her. And now to be a 2-time world champion.
It's great.
Absolutely fantastic.
I'm not going to lie, I was a bit, not cynical, but I was a bit kind of on the fence about it at the start, because I was like, why have you got Carrasco and Herrera there? Because surely they're just going to dominate and be so much faster than everyone else. And to be honest, in the opening few rounds, they were a step ahead of a lot of the riders. But as the season's gone on, as Sara Sanchez, who again raced against Pedro Acosta and riders like that, kind of got into a stride, those two riders, Herrera and Carrasco, will only benefit the rest of the class because they look at them as a lead and go, great, okay, that's what I need to do. I'll follow you on track. Are you in that gear, this corner? Same bike as me. I can adapt. Mallory Dobbs is now really good friends with Carrasco, it seems, and doing track days and stuff together. And that's helping her a lot. And you saw Roberta Ponziani in the last race, who got her first podium recently, and for a lot of the season has been the 5th place rider. Led the race for quite a lot of it. Beatrice Naylor, I don't know if you saw that interview at the end. Absolutely bless her heart.
I had to cry.
She was crying her eyes out because she was like, this is such a tough year. It's like, you've had 4 podiums. But again, she was struggling, and she didn't hit the level she expected, and now, but she got the podium. I think she got second in the end. Carrasco actually beat her in the first race to the second place. But again, Naylor's stepped up a level. And then a massive, monumental shout out to Chloe Jones, who came in as a wild card with GL Motorsport. And I'm gutted for her for that double long lap penalty, because I genuinely think she could have stood on that podium in that second race. And given the fact it was her debut on a bike she's really not ridden before, I believe she's ridden at Jerez a few times, but she's not ridden that bike around Jerez. And into a world championship against riders of Grand Prix experience, while she's got experience in Supersport and BSB and, the Junior 300 series in BSB. To step into that class and finish 6th, I think, in the second race, but battle for podiums and battle for the win, outstanding. And I really hope she's in the series next year, because I was so impressed.
Surely she has to be in the series next year. Like, come on, she smashed the interview by the looks of it. Like,
yeah. She beat riders doing it all year.
Exactly.
She just hopped on it and was like, right, what? Maria Herrera, who? I'm Chloe Jones. Come at me.
Yeah, no, she was fantastic. And like you said, all the girls improved over the season. They're all so much, like, I don't want to say so much better, but they've all gained so much experience. And at that final race, I think really showed and highlighted the step that all of the riders have made. Like, they are now on a world championship level, and it's fantastic to see. Like, any one of those riders could have won that race in race 2. They all showed incredible speed, and I think that is down to the likes of having Anna and Maria sort of paving the way. So I think next season is going to be absolutely fantastic, because if we can retain most of those riders, and now going into a second year, I'm not sure what the likes of Anna or Maria are going to be doing, but if we can keep Beatrice Neela and Sanchez and Pontiani and get Chloe Jones in, and like you said, the likes of Mallory Dobbs, who's made an incredible step, like, it's going to be fantastic. Like, if that's the standard we got to in one season, it's only going to go up from there.
Yeah, I think Carrasco probably wants to stay. I believe there's an interview where she kind of said she was staying. I think Naylor will stay. Herrera will definitely stay, because she's going to be hungry now.
Yeah, she wants
to win
I
it.
deserve that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think she'll be back as well. And again, a lot of the riders, like you say, they made massive steps. Mallory Dobbs struggled to finish races first half of the season. A lot of mechanical issues and stuff like that. And then she finished, 11th in the championship? That's impressive.
But there was a massive step. Like you said, she's been training with Anna Carrasco, and you can just see the difference in her riding.
Yeah.
And again, it could be that confidence thing, which I think she's finally got a few solid results under her belt. It's sad that the season's not going on, because you could see that she really sort of hit what she wanted to sort of do at the start of the year, and it's unfortunate that it took so long to click for her and the team. But that's going to be another rider who's going to be hungry, who's going to be like, right, I finally got it to work at the end of the season. Right, when's next season starting? Like, I want to be up there. And now the next goal will be podiums and race wins for her, because I could definitely see it happening, because she has the speed. Like, they're all amazing, and so many of them are going to have those little wins from the season where they started out to where they managed to finish the season. So the competition is just going to be fierce next year.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It had some of the best racing. Like, some of the weekends of World Superbikes, I was going, that was the best class of the weekend.
Yeah, like, honestly, I think, because I was around my girlfriend's house at the time when I was doing it, and when I was rooting for Maria. I can't lie, I like Maria. And I genuinely, when she crashed, I genuinely shouted, "No!" And like, she was in the other room, like, what's going on? Because I just spent the last 20 to 25 minutes going, "Come on, Maria." And she was like, I went, "No." And she's like, "She's crashed." And I was like, "Yeah."
I sat in silence. My mouth was just hung open. I didn't have anything to say. I was like,
Yeah, like what? Like obviously elated for Anna, but yeah, I was on Maria's side.
No, I didn't care who won that. It was just I'm so glad that the championship went well. I know there was so many haters and people who doubted it at the start of the season, but my mind's fully 100% back in this class now. I even had my concerns about the class before it started, and I said to myself, no, give it the season and then you can make your mind up. But I am 100% back in it. It was absolutely fantastic, and I hope they run it for many, many years now and get the stepping stone on its way, because I think the winners could go anywhere.
A lot of the riders wanted to join. Like I think Jodie Fieldhouse tried to join, but funding was an issue because there's a lot of money involved in it. I think if they can fix that issue as well, just to allow it to be a bit, I know it's cheap as anything at the moment, but just a little bit cheaper, just to allow some of the girls, like there's that Mini Rossi girl, isn't there, on Instagram I keep seeing. I think she rides over Arles. If she can she's got a lot of social media followers. She gets the right age to jump in. She'd be a great asset if she's got the talent and stuff like that for it. But again, I don't want money to become a thing again that stops these girls from getting in there. But I do think like it's quite wholesome, a lot of the things I've heard. I mean, you know, Neela was crying in part of Fairman, and they were all going absolutely nuts cheering her on. And my mate was actually at the circuit because he's PR guy for Kyle Ride, and he said that there's that girl Sabadia who was doing I believe a wild card in the series, and she was back last, like probably a minute behind everybody, and yet every time they went past they were cheering like crazy for her, like let's go. You know, you wouldn't see that in other classes, I don't think. And so it's stuff like that that's like, I don't know, it just makes you smile a little bit, you know. So that's just put a nice little story in the end there. Yeah, really happy with the series. Long may it continue.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Should we go into some predictions?
Oh, go on then.
Because we need to do our Thailand ones as well, by the way. So.
Oh god, I forgot about
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Just get over with. Do it.
Right.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah. Right. I'm just going to make sure that this Thailand thing is ready because I have not prepared it. It'll be ready.
I'm actually going to think about some Thailand predictions.
Am I going to bother looking up the weather? Because it never seems to.
So going into Australia, obviously we kind of mark it as do the same as kind of the Grand Prix thing. So you get 10 points for pole, 12 points if you get sprint correct, 16 points if you get third right, 20 points for second, 25 for P1. If you get all three on the podium, you get 100 points. And if you get all three in MotoGP with a sprint, you get 125. So in Australia, I should never do that accent ever again.
Australia,
dude.
Australia, mate.
God. Yeah. Anyway,
there's a shark in the water.
Oh my god.
In Moto3, we all got David Alonso correct as the winner. Heading into the weekend, may I add, I led with 836, Cameron with 639, and Lauren with a flat 600. Then after Moto3, we all got 25 points each, so you can just add 25 to each of those. Mm-hmm. Then in Moto2, me and Lauren got Canet in second correct, because why wouldn't he finish anywhere but second? That was the only thing we got right. So I lead with 881, Cameron stays 664, and Lauren was 645, catching up there. In MotoGP, Cameron got nothing correct. You got Marquez pole, Marquez sprint, Binder third, Marquez second, Martin win. So you got nothing.
That is so brutal. So brutal.
You finished at 664.
How many times has that happened to me, though?
Quite a lot.
Exactly.
I went Marquez on the sprint, win, Marquez pole as well, so 0. Martin third, Acosta second, but I did pit Marquez to win for 25 points to bring my tally to 906. Lauren went Martin pole, Martin sprint winner, Bagnaia third, Martin second, Marquez first.
I didn't clock on. I got Pecco in third.
You got a full. You're the first person this year to do that.
Oh my god, I got it all right.
So what does that mean? Is that like 100 points or something?
125.
Yes!
You're on 770.
I'll be that then.
Thoroughly demoting Cameron to third.
Well, there it is. All it takes is one good. I think we said this like last time, right?
One good weekend.
All right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, right? It's not even that mental a prediction, is it? For Martin on pole, sprint win, and then that.
How did I not clock on that I got Pecco in third? Yesterday, I'd figured it out. I was like, oh, look at that. I got Marquez and Martin. I thought I picked Anaya Bastianini.
Flippin' egg. No, you got Bagnaia there.
I need to set up a GoFundMe for this because I'm never going to recover.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm the first one to get that all right. This is never going to happen again, to me anyway.
Of this year anyway, yeah.
Wow.
Very impressive.
I'd like to thank my mum and dad for getting me into MotoGP.
You got to thank Beyonce. Don't forget to thank Beyonce.
Oh, sorry.
As well.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm Beyonce, obviously.
Yeah.
I suppose I should start trying now, shouldn't I?
Wow. Yes. Very well done for that.
God, it only took us 17 races to get that right.
I know. Crazy. Yeah. But yeah, that was very, very good. So well done.
Wow.
Yeah, try and beat that one now.
That. I honestly think that's one of my biggest achievements to do it.
I'm gonna have to start getting worried now. You're closing on me now.
That and graduating uni, honestly, I've never gotten something right like that before. That's incredible.
Yeah. Now you need to do the lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Get
Let's get a few Euro Millions tickets bought for the weekend.
Also, I can give you a fun little stat as well.
Yeah.
Martin crossed the 420 point barrier this weekend. Obviously, that is the record set by Marquez in 2019 of 420. Martin sits on 424 points. Marc Marquez did that in a 19 race season. It took Martin 17 rounds and sprints to break Martin's record. That is
big Marc's record. Yeah.
Jeez. 2019 was wild.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah. But so I now leave the weekend with 906. Lauren is second with 770. And Cameron with 664.
I can breathe for once. I can have shocking results for the rest of the season, I think, and still be okay.
Another weekend like that, and I'm going to be scared. Comeback of the century.
I know, you're pulling your own Marquez. Jeez.
Yeah, jeez.
What a race. I can't believe I got that all right.
Yeah, because I only realised before we were recording I went, whoa, it's spicy, this one.
Well, I was smug because I had it up and I knew I'd gotten pole sprint. Marc Marquez, Martin. So I was like, I don't really care about Moto3 and Moto2. I've done well in MotoGP, but I hadn't realised I'd got Pecco too.
Yep.
Good job, guys. Well done, everyone.
What's that? Enjoy your winning. What was the come down me thing? Enjoy.
Oh, your sad little life, Jane.
What a sad little life, Jane. You've got all the grace and decorum of a reverse dump
Lauren.
truck.
Enjoy the points. I hope it makes you happy. Dear Lord, what a sad little life, Lauren. You ruined my night completely so you can have the points, and I hope you spend it on lessons on grace and decorum. Because you have all the grace of a reversing dump truck without any tyres on.
Well, that's how I feel.
That's what Cameron said to me before recording.
That's it.
And after, I'm going to send you voice notes every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still tell you what, that is still the greatest put down of all time. The reversing dump truck with no tyres on it.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Well,
But yes, Thailand.
Right, well, I
Okay.
love these predictions again. That's fantastic.
that's it.
Good job, guys. Seriously.
Yeah.
We don't need to change the point system now.
Oh, that's
Okay.
all right.
No, I jest. We actually do. We're doing Showdown next year.
Listen,
We're
if it
doing
was
BSB.
Showdown, you'd probably be winning.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Well,
still 3 rounds to go.
Isn't
3
BSB
rounds to
only
go.
like double points in the last race?
Last 3 rounds is
Oh, is it last 3?
Showdown points, but then the last round is like more points.
Yeah. Work it out.
So I would have been like that would have been the cusp of like next week would be the start of the Showdown rounds if we did it like BSB.
It was like 300 points.
Yeah.
Or 250, yeah.
But here's the thing, we need to do work it out because BSB scores differently anyway. It's like 18 for
18,
a win or something
16,
like that.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Means we're not hitting, because we're going to hit, we're easily crossing 1,000 points this year. So
Well, you might.
I will.
I'd need another weekend like that to get near 1,000 points.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But yeah.
Right. So last year, I'll go through last year quickly in Moto3. Moto3 pole last year was, of course, apparently it's Jorge Martin, that's not right. Was Dennis Onshu, then Sasaki, and then Kelso in Thailand. Why is it back on Australia?
Don't
Can
know.
you not, please?
Do we normally do this?
I'm just giving you the information.
Ask.
Yeah. It's just being annoying.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, it's still not giving me.
I have it here if you want.
Yeah, was it Onshu on pole?
Onshu on pole, yeah.
Then Moreira,
David
then
Alonso, Tayo Furisado, Colin Vire was the podium.
Yeah, MotoGP.
So I don't know where you got that from.
MotoGP website, it sucks apparently. So yeah, pole. I'm gonna go Ortola again. Cameron.
Well, I'll go Alonso, I suppose.
Okay. And Lauren.
I'm gonna go Colin Vire, please.
Nice.
Oh.
He and Ortola took each other out in the race. Sad. Third place, please, Cameron.
Vire.
Nice. Lauren.
Vire. Don't look at me like that. You pick. I'd already wrote him down.
Is this your tactic for making sure you finish second?
I'm like psyching you out.
Exact same predictions. I can't catch you if we both score 0.
Nice. I'm going Furusato third.
That would be
second.
amazing.
I'm going to go Vire. Cameron.
I think Fernandez, please.
Wise up.
Oh, yeah.
You wise up, mate. You wise up.
And Lauren's going Fernandez as well.
Yeah, I am going Fernandez.
Are you going Alonso for the win as well?
Yeah, I am.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
we're all
let's just
doing
write that down. Okay, just write that
Come
one
on.
down. Moto2 next, okay.
Right.
I've done that at 10:18. I did this 2 minutes ago. I predicted that already.
I did it
Jeez.
10:17, so.
No, you didn't.
You two are like an old married couple, I swear.
I have my notes out. I have the proof.
God. Right. Moto2 pole last year was, I believe, Firmin.
Yes.
Firmin
was the fast. Firmin was pole, and then he won, and then it was Pedro Costa and Somket Chantra.
Nice. So pole, I'm going to go Aldeguer again. Why not? Cameron. Can it? I can't wait, by the way, for Chantra's special delivery this week. Already seen it. Looks lovely. Lauren.
I'm also going to go with Firmin.
Nice. Right. Third place, please, Cameron.
Is anyone injured?
Quite a few people.
Know about?
But no one that would be enough.
In podium contention. Agura third, please.
Nice. Lauren. And will Agura win the championship?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he kind of needs to fluff up really bad to not
if
win
he
it.
doesn't, it's embarrassing if he doesn't, I think.
True.
Well, okay. I'm going to say Jake Dixon.
Nice, okay. I'm going to go...
I struggled with this podium.
Arbolino.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a very, very consistent answer of Canet second.
I was also
Cameron?
going to say Canet. Yeah, I was going to say Canet
Yeah,
as well.
see, I usually do too, but I'm going to change it up this week, even though he steered me well last week.
Okay.
I'm going to say Firmine.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you said that because I'm going Aldeguer to win.
Nice.
Because he's doing that thing where he snags third place by the end of the year.
Yeah. I think I also would like a Firmin win, please.
Okay. And Lauren?
I would agree, but obviously I've put him in second because I think if Agura wins the championship, I want to see him win the race to win the championship.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I think he needs to pull the stops out a bit more than what he did in Australia because he had the chance and he didn't take it. So
yeah, so you're going to Agura.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I don't know. I've only just found this out, by the way. It might be news to me, but not news to you. Bloody hell! Aldeguer is now third in the championship. I just made a joke about it. He's actually third in the championship.
Oh, is he?
And we said this ages ago. Oh, by the end of the year, he'll be third. And Canet has 176. Then it's Aldeguer 175. Then Garcia 175. The top fourth to second are split by a point.
I was saying before we jumped on, and you were having all those tech issues as well. If someone had finished fourth in every race this season, which I can think of a few riders who are capable of finishing fourth every round, they'd be second in the championship.
That's mental. Like
no one's wanted to win Moto2 this year.
Aldeguer really could come back and do what he did last year, just come out with third and make us all. We wouldn't look stupid because let's be real, he's had not the greatest of seasons, but we'd be like, oh, he's going to MotoGP with third in the championship. Fair enough. Can't really argue with that. But yeah, mental to be honest. And Canet came from like 9th to 2nd in the championship. Very impressive. Right, Lauren, MotoGP pole, please.
I'm going to say Marc Marquez.
Okay. So does that mean me and Cameron should say Marc Marquez as well? Because we need to copy you this week.
Well,
see, I'm not even confident in my answers this week because there's no way I'm ever going to replicate that. So
yeah, if anything, you stay away from that.
Yeah, I've gone back to pushing the boat out a bit. I think Martin's probably the safest answer in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I've gone Martin.
I'm going to go Martin as well. I need to pick something that you're not choosing, Lauren, because otherwise I can't catch you. So I need to go different.
Okay.
Yeah. Sprint win. I'm going to go Marquez. Lauren.
I'm going to go Martin.
Nice. And Cameron.
Okay.
Deco?
Nah. I think he's too deflated. But then...
Unless...
oh, God. I'll go Mark as well. Why not? Let's do it. It's his kind of track. He's fast here.
You're just trying to steal Dak's answers because he scores consistent points.
It's not a bad tactic.
MotoGP third, please. Let's put an end to that one straight away.
Enea
Bastianini.
Yeah. Oh, the podium here last year, by the way, was Martin, Bagnaia, Binder. That was that one that Bagnaia tried to make that wild move up around the outside.
Oh, yeah, that was a mental move. Maybe we'll try it again this year and actually get it done. Yeah. He got one done earlier this year, so...
Yeah.
That was an amazing race last year, think about it. A really good race.
Just in case that changes anyone's opinions.
Okay. I'm going to go Bagnaia third again.
Me too.
Oh
Twins.
My God. That's don't know if I should
That's
be happy.
That's not going to happen now.
Yeah. Cameron? Second.
Martin.
For second, okay. I'm going to go Martin second as well. And Lauren?
Oh, I'm going to go Mark second.
Okay. I'm going to go Marquez to win. Cameron?
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Nice. And Lauren?
Double. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say Martin to win.
Interesting. Do you want to know something interesting as well?
Always.
If Martin, I mean, he doesn't have to do a double and win sprint and main race, but if he does, he can win the championship at Sepang. Because if he does a double this weekend, he'll leave with 57-point advantage over Bagnaia, regardless of where Bagnaia. No, that's not true, is it?
No, that's
No,
not
it's
true
only
at
if
all.
Pecco doesn't score any points.
Yeah, okay.
God, that
Ignore
was
me.
wild.
Ignore me
We
completely.
usually do, don't we?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's 10:30 at night. I mean,
It is. I'd like to go to bed.
I know Big Brother's on and over by this point. Come on, let's get
and Married
this
at
show on
First
the
Sight.
road.
Da-da-da. Yeah. Okay. I hope you've enjoyed listening. Anyway, I think we've actually had a very good podcast. To be honest, it's been an actual.
It's been a good.
episode.
It's been a
We've covered a lot of
historic weekend.
topics.
Yep.
Yeah.
Smashed it, and we'll as soon as we finish this call, we'll go. Oh, we should have talked about that because we always do
Every
that.
time.
I can't think of much else, to be honest.
No.
I can't generally. Like, not. Yeah.
I was at the Sunflower at the weekend.
You were. How was it? Charlie Nesbitt did well. So did Scott
Charlie
Swan.
Nesbitt. Yep. Charlie Nesbitt won 2 of the races, including the big main event, the Sunflower Trophy, and then
Nice.
Scott Swan won the other 2. So
Legend.
yeah,
Good
money
day for
sorted. Good day for the Northern Irish riders, anyway. Well, I know Charlie Nesbitt's English, but
yeah.
I know who I'm supporting. That's all I'm going to say. So
biased. Nice.
Little bit.
Little bit.
Yeah, it was good. The weather was good on Saturday, so it was nice. Good day of racing. Everyone was fab.
Good. Love to hear it.
That's it. That's actually it.
Nice. Well, we actually managed to get through. Oh no, I was going to say we managed to get through a podcast without me mentioning another one, but I did actually mention one earlier. So, because
I don't remember. I clearly didn't listen.
I mentioned Carl Ride interview, didn't I?
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about confidence.
There's a really nice picture that you shared, Deck, of the 3 British riders.
About that.
Yeah.
Fun story about that. Because obviously I saw Taron post that last week, and I said that my mate is the PR guy for Carl Ride.
Yeah.
And I was like, please, can you get this photo of them and replicate it on? So you can do it on your social media or whatever. Here's the idea. Go and get it done. It'd be sick. And it was like, oh yeah, that'd be good. Nothing. Didn't hear anything of it. And then I think it was Sunday night. He sent me the photo in the group chat and was like, got it done for you. And I was like, legend. And I was like, yes. And he didn't. Carl just put it as a random photo on Facebook. So I was like, yes, I can use it as my own concept. So yeah, big shout out. I don't think he wants his name mentioned, so I won't mention it. But big shout out to Carl Ride's PR guy for sorting it out for me. You're a legend. And yeah, so I was buzzing when I saw that photo come through. And yeah, it's a nice little photo, I think.
All 3 of them could be in BSB next year again.
Yeah, I heard Carl Ride might be Carl Ride, bloody Tara McKenzie, BSB, yeah.
Yeah.
And as we are talking about BSB, I open up Instagram, and Ryan Vickers and his new Ducati is the first thing I see.
That's where the 17. I seen that earlier. Didn't know what that was about.
Yeah,
there was a 17 somewhere. Popped up my social media earlier.
Yeah, I put it on my story, I think, and loads of people are like, oh, who's that? So yeah, and yeah, that's the post, obviously, with the
it's still working over the webcam, but
is it not? It's working for me.
The viewers might be able to see it a bit better than what we can see it, but it's not
maybe.
good.
Maybe it's not.
I'll post it. I'll post it on the gas stories too.
Yeah,
and people can see it there.
But yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening, and we're back next week after Thailand, where I will collect every single possible point available and run away with 325 and be crowned champion.
Watch it happen. Like,
manifesting,
subscribe, comment, etc.
All that jazz.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Okay.